What's up, everybody? Welcome to Wayne's World. This is episode number 1. I'm Wayne. Those of you who know me, I run a business in Central Michigan called Pale Rider Training. We deal with firearms training, home and business security, and things that go along with personal protection, security, firearms. We have some CPL classes scheduled that are coming up, March 6th and March 27th are on the books right now. Unfortunately, I'm kind of limited to teaching at only one public place right now because the rest of my venues are shut down. And so if you want to get into a class, I'm going to post my website and my Facebook information on this video. Get a hold of us, sign up for a class. No better time. I know that you can throw a rock and hit 15 different firearms instructors, but I'm telling you, some of them are absolutely wonderful people with a lot of knowledge and a lot of experience. And I think just like anything else, there's some that aren't so versed in what they're talking about. I don't think you can gain enough experience and knowledge from watching YouTube videos and playing video games to properly put out the information that people really need to know to do this kind of stuff legally and correctly and safely. But anyways, the reason that we're calling this Wayne's World is because I plan on getting way off topic from what my business deals with. I'm going to go into a lot of other stuff, and I think that this can become an educational, informational place for a lot of people, and it can provide some entertainment. I've been meaning to do this for quite a long time. I made a few videos when I was running for sheriff in Gratiot County. I did that so people kind of knew who I was and where I stood. And I think it helped us a little bit. And we were censored an awful lot. I got censored off of Facebook. No reason was given. I was just cut straight off of Facebook for the whole election time period, from the primaries all the way through until quite a while after the general election. And I was kind of attacked by those at the county a little bit. Everything that we did, I was getting hounded about every single step that we took. I mean, minor things that were no big deal to anybody, where I wasn't even necessarily doing anything wrong. They just had the idea that I was, so I was getting hounded about that stuff. But that's a story for another day, because that was quite the learning experience running for an elected position when you're not part of that class of people that hold all those positions. But we'll talk about that a little bit more as we go on. I don't have her with me here right now. She's out in the other room, but you'll probably see my dog Ruby in a lot of these videos. She's usually right there by my side. That dog, she should be the star of some TV show. I mean, that dog has more personality than just about any person I know. She's this emotional, sassy little creature that pretty much runs my life, to tell you the truth. I'm low man on the totem pole around here, and the dog is at the very top. So I'm sure some of you know where I'm coming from with that. So I'm gonna get into training stuff, maybe cover a little bit about what's going on in the news and national politics, different incidents that happen around that may be interesting or beneficial for my audience to know. You know, there's a lot of crime that takes place around this area that people have no idea about. And when I hear about it, I'm gonna put it out there, and we'll talk about it and put as much information out there as we can about that type of stuff. For the biggest reason, there's a couple reasons why I'm doing this. Reason number one is I want to connect with as many people as I can, not just in this area, but throughout the whole country, of like-minded individuals that sit on the same side of the fence as I do. And I think that's the majority of us. And I think that we're lied to about so many things that we have this misconception that we're the minority, and I don't think that's true. I think the people that are just normal, hardworking, good, honest people make up the vast majority of our country. But it seems like those outliers are the ones that make the most noise and the ones that get the most attention. So it may look like that we're outnumbered, but I don't think that's true. And I think now is the most important time in modern history for us to connect and come together as one, because we have to. We have no choice but to come together as one, or else I have a serious fear that this American experiment is going to be in trouble. And there's a lot of things that are happening right now that I saw the writing on the wall coming, and that's what kind of one of the things that forced my hand into running for sheriff. I wanted to stop that stuff from happening to the people of my area as best as possible. And it didn't work out in my favor, but I mean, I can still connect with a lot of people, get you the information, and have us kind of come together as one. And because we got to stand up, and I'm not saying anything about violence or whatever on here right now, but we got to stand up and come together and fight for what's right. And they're seriously coming after law-abiding citizens' gun rights right now. I'm going to do a video strictly about the new gun bills that they're trying to pass. One of them in particular, I think it's HR 127. It's being put out there and introduced. It was written or supposedly written by Sheila Lee Jackson, who that woman has no business discussing anything about firearms. I posted a video on my Facebook page just recently of her making a statement to a news organization saying that she held an AR-15 once and she wished to God that she wouldn't have. Like it was this scary, life-altering thing that happened to her. And then she goes on to say it was about as heavy as 10 boxes you'd pick up. What kind of idiotic statement is that? It was about as heavy as 10 boxes that you pick up. Now, first off, ARs come in many shapes and sizes, and some of them are extremely light, some of them are heavy. So, regularly a regular AR style rifle, I think, weighs about 7 pounds, so it's not super heavy. But she goes on to say it's about as heavy as 10 boxes that you pick up. 10 boxes of what? 10 boxes of tissues, 10 boxes of bricks, 10 boxes of what? And and then she goes on to say something about a 50 caliber bullet or whatever. And it's the most asinine thing I've ever heard. And there's a lot of those politicians that put stuff out there like that, ghost guns, and you know, shoots 50 clips in 0.5 seconds, or I mean, they just say some stupid things that make no sense. And if you actually look into statistics on firearms and firearm related death and crime, the numbers don't match their narrative. And I've been in some arguments with people about this. And if you look at death by firearm, the top three reasons why people are killed in America by firearms every year is criminal on criminal activity, accidents, and suicides. And if someone is dead set on doing damage to somebody, a firearm isn't necessary. I mean, the one guy in New York City a few years ago rented a U-Haul truck and was just driving people over on the streets. People make things that go boom, if you catch my drift. More people are killed with fists and hammers every year than are killed with rifles. So should we outlaw hammers? Should we no longer be allowed to use nails? Should people be regulated from driving because vehicles can be used as a weapon? So none of this stuff makes any sense. And we need to get as many people informed and educated about what they're trying to do to us so that we can do our part to fight against it. So that's one of those things that we need to come together on, is protecting our gun rights. And so I'll be putting some information out there later about that. Like I said, I'm not going to get a whole lot into politics. There's 500,000 channels out there that cover politics and national politics and what's going on in that national scene, which is a disgusting situation right now. Nothing that's going on right now, in my opinion, is good for America at all. And I think most of these people that sit up there in these seats, number one, they get there through corruption and cheating and lying and whatever, in a lot of cases. Probably not all cases, but in many cases. And then once they get there, they do everything they can to fatten their wallet, fatten their bank account, and help their people out. And most of it goes against what's good for America. They write these bills that are 10,000 pages long, sometimes longer. They have all this pork in there that is basically them giving money to these organizations or these countries, and they get a kickback because of it. They get money on the other end. I think our new president just bought like a $400 million mansion, and it's in between the Chinese consulate, and there was something else that was kind of bad that it was near. And I mean, even as president, you only get paid 400. I think it's $400,000 a year. And how can you afford a $400 million or 40 million or even 4 million or whatever the case may be? How can you afford that when that guy has done nothing but be in politics his whole life? So he's lived off the government dime his whole entire existence, yet he has the money to buy the same type of house that Bill Gates buys or whatever. I mean, that's crazy. And that just lets you know right there that there's some underhanded shady deals going on. It doesn't take, the brightest individual on the planet to figure that out. So I might get into that a little bit just because it affects all of us. And I think most of us are going to be on the same page with that. And we're being censored from talking about it. And I think it's important that we do talk about it and that we do connect and that we do let our voices be heard. So, but But I'm going to get way off topic on some other things. I may do some how-to videos on here. I do a lot of building and home improvement stuff. I work on vehicles all the time, and I do this stuff out of necessity because I'm poor, not because if I had the money to hire people to do everything, I would. But if I can save a dollar by fixing something myself, I usually do. And then in the end, it usually costs me more money because I screw it up 3 or 4 times along the way, and then I finally fix it. And but I learned a lot in the process. And if I can stop you from making the same mistakes that I've made, you know, I gladly will do that. So we might get into some stuff like that. And then I want to look into some crimes that have happened around here, do some investigating on that stuff. I've had a lot of people that have come to me looking for help with situations like that. And that was just another one of those reasons why I ran for sheriff, because as just an ordinary citizen, I don't have the ability to take any steps that can actually help people, with coming to a conclusion on the situation that they currently sit in. I can help protect people in the future and help them protect themselves and be set up for success. But with something that's happened in the past, without the proper, licensing, being law enforcement or a private investigator, I didn't have much of an ability to help people with that. So if I can go into and look at some of those situations that have happened around here and bring some publicity to it, I absolutely will. And if you got an issue that you want me to look into, or you need some help looking into, or you want to bring some publicity to something, you know how to get a hold of me. I'm going to post all of our stuff up below this, so please do. I'm also going to go way out on a branch and talk about some stuff that may turn some of you off. Um, so I've worked for the government a lot of my life. And I mean, I wasn't like up there in the know working with the government. I was, down here on the bottom, just being a grunt basically. But I know that we are lied to about a lot of stuff. I know there's a lot of stuff that's hidden from us. I think that a lot of the things that we have been taught were our history and what is true in the past is a lie, or it was thought to be true at one point in time, and the people that put their name behind it, once they get proven wrong, they fight against that proof. And I think there's a lot of things that are unknown out there, and one of the things that seriously piques my interest is the unknown. What's going on around us in this world? I've come to the conclusion that I don't know anything. You know, I know myself and I know my family and I know this little area that I sit in. And, I know certain topics really well, obviously like firearms and stuff like that. But what's really out there? I don't know that, and I've come to the point in my life where I don't accept the mainstream answer as the truth if I don't see proof behind it, And I'm not a flat earther or anything like that, but I just, we're lied to about a lot of stuff. So how do you know what's true and what's not? And one of those things that seriously catches my interest is aliens or UFOs for one, because if you look at the size of the universe and you look at the size of Earth, we're not even a grain of sand on the beach. And we're this little tiny blip that, I mean, really is invisible if you look at the whole universe. We're so small and insignificant. So, how could there not be something way more advanced than us out there? And then if you start looking at things that have happened way in the past, there's all this stuff all over Earth in different locations on different continents that we have no idea how it was built. We don't have the technology now to build it. And you expect us to believe that just some cavemen with rocks and sticks built this structure that is impossible to build with modern equipment and technology. So, and there's all these signs of, you know, intervention from some other higher being. And if the more you look into that stuff, the more you go down that rabbit hole, the more it will blow your mind if you don't look into it. So that stuff seriously catches my interest. And so I'm gonna look into that a little bit on here. Another thing, if you think that we know everything that goes on in this world, you should get onto a site that's built by this guy named David Paulides. It's called Missing 411. And that guy's a retired detective, and he just gives the facts. He doesn't give too much of an opinion or go too far out there on why this thing that he's talking about happened. But it's mind blowing the cases that he gets into, you know, and it's he concentrates mostly on the U.S. and every once in a while he goes out to an outlying continent or country, another place. But there's all these tens of thousands of people throughout the course of time that have just straight up vanished, disappeared. And if they ever do find a body, where it's found at and the condition that it's found in makes absolutely no sense. And this information gets hidden from the public. And so look into that. It'll open your eyes to a little bit. And I truly believe what that guy is saying. He's just giving you the facts of the situation that happened. And if you don't think there's stuff going on out there that we don't know about after watching that, you know, I mean, anything can be lied about on video. You know, they got technology, you know, that can make anything look real, and through editing and the deep fakes, you know, they can do anything they want. But I believe what that guy puts out there. So look into it. You know, another thing is the whole Bigfoot thing, and I I I don't know if I believe in Bigfoot. I don't know if it's real, but if someone can point me to a place where I can see some real evidence, I'm gonna go and check it out because that is some interesting stuff. And there's a few people out there that talk about stuff like that that just bring the facts out and don't put their opinion behind it. And you know, that's some pretty intriguing stuff. And I think the more your eyes get opened, it starts connecting dots on things like, you know, if I'm lied to about this, what else am I lied to about? And then it opens your eyes to another thing and it takes you down another rabbit hole. And some of my friends may see me on here and you know who you are, and you're going to think, man, this guy's a nut job for even talking about this stuff. But you know, my eyes have been opened. I've seen a lot of things that don't make sense. I've never seen alien, Bigfoot, ghosts, whatever. I've never seen anything like that. But I know that there's a lot of stuff that goes on out there that most of us are unaware of. And then you see all of this evidence put out there that goes against what we see as reality, and it just gets brushed off like, yeah, no big deal. So, you know, I want to get into some of that stuff because I'm freaking bored, and I think most of you are too. And if I can go out there and find some adventure, I'm going to. And if I can take you along for the ride, hell yeah. And if we can do it together, if you've got some information or some knowledge that you think would pique my interest, hit me up and we'll go look for it together. And but for starters, you know, back to the beginning of this video, we're gonna be put regular stuff out there. It's not gonna be just boring me sitting in a chair and talking to you in my wife's office. I'm gonna get outside and do some stuff in different areas, do some training videos, just basics to start with, because that's one thing that a lot of us need to get proficient at is the basics and home security stuff. And then we're gonna get off topic into some other craziness that I hope that you join me for the ride. Anyways, so I'm going to put my Facebook site down below here. I'm going to put my website down below here. I'm going to put my wife's business website down below here. She owns a real estate brokerage. She is her own little real estate agency. And so if you're looking into buying and selling a house or a property or a farm or a business or whatever, get a hold of her. She's really good at what she does. And what makes her so good is that number one, she's educated and she's really smart. But I think more so than that, she's a people pleaser, and she goes that extra mile to help anybody that she is in contact with. And I think any of you that have worked with her in any sort of dealings in the past probably see that, whether it was with her garden center or real estate or whatever. She's one of those people that puts other people's best interest ahead of her own. And in a real estate or business transaction, you know, that's something that goes a long way, and I think something that's really rare. And so I'm going to put her information below here, and I'm also going to put U.S. Law Shield below here, and that's an organization that I've teamed up with that provides self-defense insurance and Second Amendment kind of insurance, and it's a membership that you pay like 10.95 a month for, and if you ever do have an incident, then you have a lawyer on call, and your lawyer's fees are covered start to finish for criminal situations, for what's the other thing I'm looking for? Criminal and civil situations. And so all that's covered for that 1095 a month. And it's an important thing to have a lawyer on call in a situation. I've seen way too many situations where innocent people have gotten in some serious jeopardy over what they've said after an incident took place. And I've talked about some of that stuff in my classes. But anyways, so this is just me saying, hey, what's up? And I'm going to be bringing some way more interesting stuff to you here in the near future. Um, Stay tuned and hit us up on one of the sites I'm putting below. Anyways, I appreciate y'all taking the time to check us out, and I'll talk to y'all later.